thoughts on Kota Ibushi? Have we seen the end of his in-ring career in any meaningful sense? If so, what is his lasting legacy? What are your favorite matches or moments? Okay, James, it's over for Kota Ibushi. And when I say
Did
it's
he go
over,
into the match with injuries, or was he already?
yes,
Did he get
he
in the
went
match?
in with injuries and got injured in the match. Either way, it does not matter. I know what I saw a couple months ago, and then here,
What was a couple months ago?
the
The was it
blood and
the
guts
Super Hall
stuff,
show?
the
Oh,
blood and
okay,
guts, the
fair enough.
multi-man tags that he was
Yep.
in AEW. He has no like his depth perception seems like it's gone. Like his ability to anticipate is gone. It seems like obviously the match I watched it, him and Marufuji. And thank God for Marufuji for just being in there with him and protecting him as much as he could and kind of carrying the whole thing. But this was awful in every sense of the word. And this was like a 30-minute match. I watched it. I was like, I don't know if it's a sick thing or whatever. I watch, people on their way down or whatever. But I kind of just want to see like what I don't see anymore, kind of. And
Mm-hmm.
with Ibushi, the explosion is gone. As I mentioned, the sense of anticipation, the athleticism is zapped. The physicality gone, the striking gone. It's almost like a great boxer that's done. Like Kota Ibushi, I don't think I think he's capable of being in a wrestling ring. However, he cannot be counted on in any capacity for singles matches, for anything above mid card. He is a giant Baba style comedy
He's a
wrestler
comedy wrestler now.
at this point. That's the only useful role I think that would be good for Kota Ibushi going forward. This was one of the saddest things I've ever seen. This looked like Muhammad Ali in there with Larry Holmes, and he wasn't getting like beat like that, but it was just like this guy's a shadow of himself now, and it's like this guy is one of the greatest wrestlers I've ever seen in my life. Just like at one point to me the best high flyer in the world. At one different time, always been a great striker, incredible big match wrestler from the first time I ever watched him. First time I ever watched him was him versus Shinsuke Nakamura at Wrestle Kingdom 9. I watched different, past parts of his career. Obviously, the stuff with Kenny Omega, stuff where he was in Pro Wrestling Noah, and all his runs throughout the junior division, and then obviously getting CWC, coming back to New Japan as a heavyweight, and his run up to the IWGP title. This guy is amazing. Like for what he did, gave us a lot of great years of pro wrestling excellence. Just the zenith, like as good as someone can be in a wrestling ring, Kota Ibushi was that. And I want people to remember how great that man was, because it's over now. Like, and it's done. Like, and I saw it, and it was just like, I love Kota Ibushi, and it was like, it was sad. It was like, who's letting him go out there? Does he need the money like this? Like he does not need to be in, unless he's going to take major time off, more time than he already had took off. Like this guy, like, obviously it's like the Monstars took his powers. Like that's what he looks like now, James. And it's really sad, like right now, but his lasting legacy, I guess you could say, like, you throw him in with the guys that went to New Japan Wrestling from other dojos. He's as good as any of them, and then made it all the way to the top. He's as good as any of them, and he's a Wrestling Observer Newsletter Hall of Famer. And quite frankly, just like one of the just most sensational wrestlers I've ever seen in my life.
I don't think there are two handfuls of wrestlers that I think have been like more complete as talents than in the ring as performers than Kota Ibushi. From just the ability, the agility, the toughness, the willingness to bump like that, the danger factor, the wow factor, the footwork, the pacing, I you know, he fucked up his shoulder in the 2022 or no, 2021, right?
Yeah.
2001 G1
G1
final.
final.
And he's a person that is obviously looked a lot younger than his actual age always has been. And I think it's finally all caught up to him all at once. And it stinks. It stinks. And whatever. I got I got all the matches already. But I hope he can I hope he can find something to do away from pro wrestling the rest of his life. Like when you're that good at something and you can't do it at the level you want to do it anymore, how do you find fulfillment? Can you find fulfillment? So I'm interested to see, or I'm keeping my eye out for whatever he figures out for himself in the future. And I hope, and I thank him because
Yeah.
I don't think I've he changed his podcast, and in a way from saying that he changed my life first time seeing him. So yeah, all time wrestler for me.
Far as favorite matches, obviously him versus Shinsuke Nakamura, Wrestle Kingdom 9.
Yep.
There was a great match he had in Noah. I forgot, it was like a tag team match. I think Kenta's in it as well. That is excellent. Obviously the Bushi Omega matches.
Is Ishimori in it?
Yes.
Was it did we watch it during Josh's birthday one year?
Yes.
Yeah.
Obviously the series of Kenny Omega, they never quite got the match they were looking for. The Budokan Hall quote unquote preview match, still out of this world. Him versus Tetsuya Naito, Dominion 2019, still they went fucking crazy, dropping each other on their heads. It was so amazing. Him versus Jay White in the Dome. This guy unlocked Jay White in a way that no one ever has multiple times. Yeah. Him and Hiroshi Tanahashi, G1 Final 2018, when Tanahashi walks through them slaps.
Yep.
Wrestle Kingdom main event against Okada, where they're just fucking drilling each other.
I think that's the best for me. That's the best Ibushi match I've seen.
Him and Kenny against the Bucks.
I'll throw in his 2019 matches in the G1. I mean, there's a bunch of G1 stuff we could throw. We thought 2018, him versus Omega, as you mentioned, him versus
Ishii.
Him versus Ishii is also in there. But out through 2019, in that A block, him versus Suzuki, and also him versus Taichi, after he already fucked up his ankle in night one or whatever else, or that storyline or whatever it was to basically just move him off the path of being a high flyer. Those matches were amazing. Especially the Taichi match in the final, where it's just a Noah match, where just kicking each other back and forth, who's going to break first. It's an amazing match. Just an all-time wrestler, man. An all-time wrestler. Match didn't quite get 5 stars, which is disappointing. It's only, the disappointing 4 3/4 star match, the opener of Wrestle Kingdom 13, him and Will Ospreay.
Yeah. Not knowing who the fuck Vince McMahon was. Just the comedy of Kota.
Didn't he give him a high five?
Yes, give him a high five and shit. The comedy of Kota Ibushi, where you hear he wants to blow firecrackers up off his chest and shit. Just an eccentric guy that
bumping on concrete.
Yeah, not signing a contract for years and years and years until whatever, just out of wanting to express his pro wrestling the way he wanted. And this guy's if you never watch if you're seeing Kota Ibushi now showing up in AEW and you're like, what's the big deal? Who is this guy? He's kind of looks like he's in his own world. He is in his own world. He's always been in his own world. But this guy, you have to watch him. He's the one of the quintessential guys of this time. And the thing about him is he's so adaptable with everybody. He's a great opponent for everyone. I don't know who
Yep.
is the bad Kota Ibushi person. Sometimes they just don't quite, whatever. He's great with
Right.
Naito. He's great with Okada. Great with Omega.
Mm-hmm.
Great with Tanahashi. Great with fucking Ishii. Like, yeah, man, he's great with Nakamura. Like,
Yep.
whatever. Like, man. He was awesome. So, salute Kota Ibushi. Cedric Alexander, yes.
Yeah.
Cedric Alexander's career is still, like, in part going off of that match.
Yep.
Bruce.
Who did he put over in the semifinal? Was it TJP or was it Lindsay Dorado? Not Lindsay Dorado.
TJP.
It was TJP, yeah. And then in the final, it was TJP versus
Grand Metalik.
Grand Metalik, right? I want to call him by his own name, but okay, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Bruce Mel's moan.